Alright, got the camera set up. Right here where my hand is. I don't know how visible this is going to be. It's kind of hard to see in the viewfinder. But this cover right here is where that reducer has to go. So I'm going to drain out the tranny fluid. I got a bucket down there, wrenches ready. And then I'm going to take these bolts out and pull this cover off. Now I'd probably start it up and get the fluid warm and let it work, you know, let it run out of there easier. But I have no pipes on the bike anymore, so that would just be stupid loud. Not to mention then everything would be hot and that, so I'm just gonna drain it out of there cold. Probably make a little bit of a mess.
Celebrating the greatest live music ever performed. 96.5 WKLH, Milwaukee's classic rock.
That's scary. There's a little, not a lot, but there is a little bit of metal shavings in there. I did, like I said, ride it for a few minutes last summer, you know, around the block a couple times. But that was pretty much the extent of it. But I got some new stuff in there. Hopefully that was the tranny plug. I'm pretty sure it was. And the way it's tapering off already, I'm going to say yes it was. So, give that a second or two to drain out here. And get a rag, wipe my hands off, tool, the plug. There's another thing they add to the to-do list. The handle grips on this thing are just, they look nice when I bought them, but the rubber on them just literally melts like cotton candy with the, unless you wear gloves, the acidities or sweat or whatever in your hands just turns it into gunk. So they probably could have used a harder or different composite rubber on those. But if I did, it wouldn't wear out, and they wouldn't make any money. Alright, that's pretty much ended. So I'm going to start pulling these out. Kind of a shame. Like I said, I think that shit's like, bought some stuff yesterday. Almost 20 bucks a quart. And I Had to do with that wrench. Allen wrench. Oh, there it is. I put it in there last summer, and like I said, drove around the block a couple times. And here I am, throwing it away again. I had a fiasco where when I went to change the fluids last summer, some wrong fluids got in the wrong holes, like oil in the transmission fluid and the oil. So about $100 worth of stuff had to get re-drained out without even being used at all. Went and bought it again, and here I am again with little to no use of it, draining it out and throwing it away again. So, yeah, some air tools would be nice here. Make it a lot quicker. I had actually looked at a compressor. I think I talk about this a little bit in videos that'll come up after this I made before this. It's a 80-gallon Quincy with a 5-horse motor. 240 power source, 30, whatever. He also had a 100-gallon. Well, he wanted $1,300 for that compressor, and it's old. They don't even sell it anymore. In fact, when I went online and looked, there was a newer version of it that they've already discontinued, so it's got to be a really old compressor. And then he had a 100-gallon side tank that he wanted $300 for. So I mean, you'd have a lot of CFM there, but you're talking, you know, $1,600. And when you look at compressors online, I could get a brand new Ingersoll Rand, 7.5 horse, 230 volt, 80-gallon tank, 2-stage, and I think the CFM was like 18 or somewhere right in that range. Might even be more than that, for $1,500, brand spanking new. So I was gonna talk to this guy and see if he was willing to come down on his price in that, but after going and spending about a third of that money I had for parts for this, that pretty much put the kibosh on the compressor. Now, this is odd, because, well, it was a different bike, so maybe that's it, but I did see a video of somebody taking this off on a very similar bike, and he said there was two of these screws here that were short, and all 6 of mine are exactly the same length. And it's a little crowded and cramped here, right up against the outside wall of the garage. Now what isn't on this video, and that's because it was done in relation to taking the clutch plates out on the other side, is, yes, you can laugh, I'll try and get it in a video before I end this piece. Just the cable right here It runs up through the front of the bike to the clutch lever. But right behind the fender there, in between the frame and the fender, there's an adjuster nut to loosen and tighten that cable. And I had loosened that up to get the clutch plates out on the other side. So, alright, that's all. I'm gonna stick that rag in there because there is some oil coming out of there. Okay. Alright, got that off of there. Now I believe, well, you can see it in the video there. Looks like you can. Might be a little dark. But there's a snap ring right here at the tip of my index finger that you need to take out to get this piece out here and disconnect this cable. So I'm going to grab my snap ring pliers and try and get that out of there. But it's still dripping a little bit too. Alright, I'm going to leave that bucket there for a minute because that's really on the verge of tipping over, but you know what? I'd rather have a couple drops of oil on the floor than this whole bucket, so I'm just going to take that out of there now. It is actually warming up here. It's been pretty cold this weekend. And it still is a little chilly, but a little bit of activity I'm doing and getting pretty warm already, so. Alright, Crescent brand, you know, like Crescent, or is it Crescent or Channel Lock? Channel Lock, you know, like your Channel Lock players. $10 Menards. I bought them because I thought I was going to need them on the clutch to get the clutch plates out, and I didn't. But figured I might as well keep them. I had a lot of tools once upon a time. They're gone now for several reasons, which I'm not going to go into detail about because I'm sure nobody really cares. But trying to pick which ones of these to put in there. They said these are pretty small. I got, no, there was one already. But I don't know, I guess. This is Jerry from Big J's Garage signing off saying you can get it done if you don't let your meat loaf.